Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. And today we're going to be taking a look at two new EDC designs from Kershaw, the Antic and the Boilermaker. Let's check them out. So first up is the Antic, and this is sort of an evolution of Kershaw's Shuffle series, in that it is a very small pocket knife with some multi-tool functionality built in. As you can see, that frame when folded up is very compact. Be very easy to take with you no matter what size pockets you have. It opens up into a nice drop point blade. It's got just enough length to do your small day-to-day tasks, although it's not going to be a real heavy worker, but that's okay. That's not what it's made for. Despite that small size, you do actually get a fair amount of grip. It's very easy to hold onto this knife, thanks to some jimping here on the spine, as well as on the back spacer here, and on the lock bar up front. The signature element of this knife, of course, is this hoop around the back, and that's where the multi-tool functionality comes in. And it also serves to lengthen the handle, allowing you to get all 4 fingers around it. And if you're still worried about retention, you can actually put your pinky finger through that ring to get a really solid hold on it. What that ring at the back brings to the table is 2 things. First, we have a screwdriver tip here on the back, which can also function as sort of a light-use pry bar. And of course, any good multi-tool worth its salt has a bottle opener. You see that right here. Overall, this is just a great little knife. It's very unobtrusive and it's not at all tactical in its nature, which is going to make it more socially acceptable in some circles, especially when you give them a nice cold beer to follow up. We've got a 1-position pocket clip, tip down right side only, and a really nice frame lock that does a good job of holding that blade in place. The blue coating on these handles is actually a PVD coating, which not only looks great, it has some nice color saturation, but it's also going to help protect the finish as well. Next up is a slightly larger knife that's a collaboration with Les George, and I really like the lines on this knife called the Boilermaker. This is a pattern with a really nice flow to it, making it a little bit more dynamic than some of the more plain Jane knives that you still see today. Like the Antic, the Boilermaker is also a stainless steel frame lock design, and it also features a PVD finish, not only on the handle but also on the blade, and it's a stone-washed brown PVD in this case. I, for one, am very happy to see knife companies branching out like this and trying a finish that's a little bit more unconventional than your standard blacks and satin finishes. What's really cool about the way they constructed this knife, though, are the cutouts in the handle. We get kind of a nice structural girder pattern here at the back for a nice stylistic element that ties in with the name. And we also see the logo itself, instead of being emblazoned on the blade as is typical, it's actually engraved on the inside of the back scale, and you can see it through this small window cut out in the front right there. It's a pretty cool touch and definitely helps to set this knife apart. Embellishments aside, this is also just a great working pattern. It does have a single position pocket clip, but it is deep carry for right side tip up. We've also got a nice finger guard formed by the flipper tab here, as well as a continuous curve along the edge, which is something I always really like. What's nice about this type of edge geometry in particular is it actually takes your anatomy into account. Because the joints of your arm are going to move in an elliptical pattern, it actually helps to keep the blade oriented properly as you're powering through your cuts. It holds nice and snug in your pocket, but extraction is still nice and easy. Part of that ease of use is due to that PVD coating, which is nice and smooth, but also the clip is actually held in place with the same screws that anchor the back spacer. So there's no screws protruding that are going to get in the way and snag on any of the fabric of your pocket. And when you're ready to open the blade, it is a SpeedSafe assisted opener, so it fires out nice and quickly. So these are just some of the first of the new for 2019 Kershaw knives to land over here at the Knife Center. We'll show you all of them just as soon as they come in, but if you want to get your hands on one of these, click the link in the description below to head over to KnifeCenter.com.